Hey everybody, and welcome back to the 9 Frames podcast. It is episode 47, and it is Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
You can catch us on YouTube, as always, at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please be sure to like and subscribe, folks.
Yeah, we appreciate it as always, and now we're going to start to get into the off-season. We hope you stick with us through it.
Yeah, before we get into free agent business, we will be getting into award season, which it is right now. This episode will be dedicated to making our predictions for Silver Sluggers, which will be awarded tomorrow night. But before we do that, we have some baseball news to get into. It is managerial hire season as well, man. There were a lot of them.
I'm a little bit surprised at how quickly these teams are filling their managerial positions.
Much more aggressive than past years.
It feels like in past years it would take some people would have to interview twice even. But I mean, these guys they know who they want, I guess, these teams.
It feels like some teams are being aggressive in general, like even the firing of Showalter, I guess it was a mutual leaving. That was a pretty aggressive move to make. Francona's retirement came out of nowhere as well. Getting rid of Kane Bloom in Boston. There's a lot of aggressive moves being made around baseball, and the most aggressive was made by the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, a little bit kind of skeevy.
Chicago Cubs, they silently fired David Ross. David Ross is no longer their manager, as Craig Counsell is coming over from Milwaukee on a 5-year, $40 million deal. $8 million a year to manage the club, man.
Yeah, that's by far a major league record. I mean, I don't think anybody else gets paid more than $4.5 a year to manage a ball club. So I understand the Cubs like what Counsell's done in Milwaukee, but that feels like a little bit of a reach for a manager. I don't know.
I mean, we are going to talk about Manager of the Year candidates, and Counsell is up there in the National League, so
he's not going to win it, though.
No, there's a reason he's getting paid that, though. He is that caliber of guy. I do think it's a little messed up to just kind of let David Ross go. Fan favorite of the Cubs, player favorite, too. Great manager for the players. But, yeah, they let him go after just missing the playoffs this year.
Yeah, last I had heard, they were happy with what he had done this year in Chicago, only finishing a game out of the playoffs. I mean, it did definitely come as a surprise. Everybody was saying that Counsell was either going to go to the Guardians, the Mets, or return to Milwaukee, and then out of nowhere, he just takes Rossi's job in Chicago just
Ross
like
had
that.
Some late-season drama, some beefs with the umpires and other teams like the Cardinals, but didn't see him getting out of there.
No, I thought maybe they would promote him to the front office or something, but no, they just let him go.
No, and David Ross is actually looking for more managerial roles now. San Diego's considering David Ross to fill the Bob Melvin hole because he went to San Francisco.
That would be interesting.
At the end of October. Yeah, it would be interesting to see because he has no history with San Diego, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he had a deep history with the Cubs, so that's why we assumed they had hired him in the first place, but now he has experience, so he can interview for other teams now. He's been at the helm of major league teams before.
Very
now.
True. We will keep you posted on that. The New York Mets signed their new manager. They signed the Yankees bench coach for he's worked 15 years in the organization.
Yeah, and then the last 4 years he's been the bench coach to Aaron Boone.
Yeah, Mets signed him for a 3-year deal to manage the team, and
Carlos Mendoza.
Yeah, Carlos Mendoza.
You forgot to mention his name there.
He.
I don't really know much about the guy, but 15 years with the New York Yankees, who are such a highly respected organization, I mean, he's got to be doing something right.
Yeah, you hope you get the guy that can deal with the flack that comes with New York media, because it's inevitable. I see a lot of backlash almost online about it, and with certain analysts like Mad Dog, but, it all just seems odd, man. You got to give the guy a chance, right? It's not like candidates are jumping out there.
Yeah, I mean, my question would be to those people who are attacking it is what other option would you want? And you can't say Buck Showalter because that wasn't an option.
No, and I see people saying things like Carlos Beltran. And
it's still a rookie manager. Yeah, it's going to be the same thing.
It's less he's less proven as a coach.
Beltran hasn't been a bench coach for 4 years in a row.
Hasn't been a coach at all. Yeah, I mean, this guy has been working in baseball as a coach for a while. He was a minor leaguer for around a decade, maybe a little longer than that. So, I mean, he's been around baseball, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the team.
Yeah, and with this move, speaking of Beltran, he'll stick in the front office, being a special advisor to David Stearns, so that's nice to see as well.
All right, and we're going to keep it moving to another hiring here former catcher Stephen Vogt recently played with the Athletics very recently. He is signed for a 3-year deal to be the Guardians manager after Terry Francona retires, as we previously said.
This is one of the most surprising ones where the team would hire their manager quicker than I thought they would. I thought after Francona left Cleveland, they would take a little bit longer to do some in-depth research on candidates, but I guess they really like what Vogt is going to bring to them. So now we got another new player manager.
Very big shoes to fill.
Much like
there.
David Ross.
He gets Terry Francona's cleats to put on, so I mean, pretty big ones to fill there. Yeah, as you see, man, these field general catchers, they're getting manager jobs now. That's kind of a new wave.
It's because they understand the game so well. They being behind the dish, they basically run the game.
Yeah, very true.
So,
and we're going to see how Stephen Vogt runs the Guardians next year, and probably for the next 3.
Another very interesting fit. I didn't see it coming, so I didn't even know he was wanting to be a manager.
Not at all. He was actually announced before council, right?
Yeah.
So pretty wild. They got their guy. That's who they wanted.
Yeah.
We will shift back on over to award season here as the Orioles GM Mike Elias, he won the MLB Executive of the Year award. He won that over Alex Anthopoulos of Atlanta Braves and the D-backs GM Mike Hazen. Thoughts on that?
I think it's very well deserved. The Orioles they've been abysmal for the past half decade, maybe closer to a decade now, with their last appearance being in 2014 up until this year. So he took them to 101 wins this year, won their division after losing 100 games 2 years ago. He did a great job, so I got no complaints.
Almost impossible not to give the award to him because he had a payroll in the high 60 millions and he won 101 games as the executive. I mean, what's the award for if it's not for that?
Yeah, because I mean, you could just give it to Alex Anthopoulos again, but like he had over 100 wins last year and he had the same team coming back this year, so he didn't really do much to improve his already good team because I'm sure he won it last year.
Not for nothing. The one who was really grinding and working his ass off and got third place here is D-backs GM Mike Hazen.
I don't know, man.
He did a lot of work at the deadline.
Yeah, but I don't know if he did more work than the Orioles executive.
Yeah, a couple of trades as well. Yeah, they ended up getting Flaherty. A couple that didn't work out also, though.
They've also, you got to think of like drafting and stuff, too.
True, yeah.
That's what they're built on is their farm system coming up and jolting them. So, I mean, they've drafted fantastically over the past half decade. And, I mean, he's got a big part in that.
Yeah, congratulations to Mike Elias.
Definitely.
For winning Executive of the Year. And the finalists for the big awards are out now. Finalists for the MVP in the National League will be Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman, as we kind of foresaw. And in the AL, it's going to be Shohei Ohtani and 2 Texas Rangers in Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. We didn't know if we were going to see Semien up here, but really nice to see him up here. This would be his second time in the top 3 in a row, right?
I don't know if he did last year, but he did in 21.
21, yeah. So
or 21.
Recently he has, I mean, he's in the MVP-ish conversation, so really solid player for sure.
This will be guaranteed his third top 3 finish in his career, so that's fantastic for him.
For sure. We will make our picks on that on next week's episodes. And the Cy Young finalists are also out. National League will be Zach Gallen, Blake Snell, and Logan Webb.
A little bit surprised that Kodai Senga's not up there. Super
surprised at that. I'm really surprised that no Justin Steele as well.
Yeah, he kind of skid out at the end of the year, and his ERA went up a little bit. I mean, I'll say it again. I can't believe Senga's not up there. He had such a good year, and it's pretty ridiculous I mean, I know Logan Webb is good and all, but, like, I don't know. I feel like Senga was better than him this year.
Yeah, Webb, the type of guy that sneaks in, and he sneaks in there again for San Francisco. Solid year for him.
Definitely.
And he gets his flowers here. In the AL, though, we have Garrett Cole, Kevin Gausman, and Sonny Gray. This one might be kind of obvious. We'll still make our picks next week, but I think you guys know who's taking this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rookie of the Year, we got in the NL, Corbin Carroll, James Outman, and Kodai Senga. So here's his little tip of the cap.
Yeah, he'll finish in second for this award,
most
probably.
Likely, almost definitely. Yeah.
Still insane. I don't know. Whatever.
And in the American League, we got Tanner Bybee, Tristan Cassis, and Gunnar Henderson.
I think that one's pretty obvious as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a favorite there. For Manager of the Year, which last but definitely not least, we have Craig Counsell from Milwaukee, which he is no longer with, Skip Schumacher of the Miami Marlins, and Brian Snitker of the Braves. This one is also pretty obvious. I mean, pretty solid managing there. And in the AL, we got Bruce Bochy, Kevin Cash, and Brandon Hyde. And I think I know who I want to win it. I don't know who they're going to give it to exactly, but I know who I want to win it.
Yeah, I have my pick as well. We'll get into it when we make those predictions later next week. But yeah, I think I have a clear pick there.
So new managers and award predictions coming up. Stay tuned, folks. We will make our predictions for Silver Sluggers, which are awarded tomorrow night.
Yeah, let's get into it.
And since we started last episode, the Gold Glove episode with the American League, we will start the Silver Slugger Award episode with the National League, and we will go to first base first, where we start with first baseman for our New York Mets, Pete Alonso. Had a really solid year this year. Another great campaign, hitting 46 bombs.
Yeah, another great year for Pete.
Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers, obviously all over the place, had 59 doubles this year.
I can't believe, it's crazy when we haven't, Castellanos was the last one to get near 60. Yeah, Freddie had a crazy year again, but, we've grown to expect it from him.
Yeah, and then someone I can't believe isn't a finalist for NL MVP, Matt Olson.
Yeah,
he's up here for Silver Slugger.
We were talking about it down the stretch. It's tough that there were 4 guys that were at the front of the race, and he just happens to be the 4th guy.
All of these guys were massive producers for their offenses. Their offenses are not the same without them. Do you have a pick you want to make first, or do you want me to go first?
I can go first for this one. I think it's I don't think it's obvious, but I'm actually going to give it to Olsen, regardless of him not being in the MVP finalist. I think he had too good of a year, man. He hit 53 home runs, which is a franchise 54, which is a franchise record. He had the most RBI in baseball by a wide margin, and he led the best offense in baseball, right in the middle of it. So
yeah. Absolutely, I'm absolutely with you. I'm fully shocked that he's not a finalist for MVP, specifically over Freddie Freeman because of these stats, man. I mean, he led the MLB in home runs and RBI, like you said. He had franchise records for the Braves for both of those. 54 home runs and 139 RBI. That's the Silver Slugger, right?
Yeah, I would give it to him. He is definitely my pick at first base in the NL.
Then we'll move it on over to second base, and now where we see another Brave and Ozzie Albies, man. It feels like he's here every year, right?
Yeah, it does, and it feels like it's such a crazy contract for him to be on that he's making less money than Craig Counsell next year.
Part of the reason that the Braves GM is always up there for Executive of the Year.
Yeah, he's been an absolute steal of a lockup for the Braves for sure.
And then second finalist here is Luis Arraez for Miami, who obviously flirted with 400 for the early part of the season, but ended with 354 he won the MLB batting championship, so obviously a great hitter there. And then your NLCS MVP, Ketel Marte for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And my pick for this one, it's another pretty obvious. Well, this one is more obvious for me. He's a second baseman batting .280 with 33 homers and 109 RBI for the Braves. It's Ozzie Albies to win this one.
Yeah, it's no knack on the seasons that Arraez and Marte had. I mean, Arraez was flirting with 400, like you said. He still finished, probably around 350.
Yeah, 354.
Yeah, so and Marte, we know what he did. He's been the heart and soul of the D-backs for a long time now. But yeah, like you said, 33 and 108 from a second baseman is just absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if he doesn't take that award.
Nah, he's definitely going to be the winner.
And for third base in the National League, we have 4 nominees. There are a couple of categories like this year. Not really sure why. Yeah, we get Nolan Arenado in St. Louis, Manny Machado in San Diego, Max Muncy in L.A., and Alex Riley in Atlanta. Who do you got and why?
I think, unfortunately, we're going to see a Braves sweep here. Riley's probably going to be in the front of the pack. I wouldn't be surprised if Nolan gets it. I mean, Muncy had over 100 RBI. A lot of guys. It could be anybody's award there, but I think the way that the league works, they're going to give it to the Braves.
Yeah, I was looking at this one this morning.
They were too good this year.
I was between Muncy and Riley, but when you look at Riley, he really is just Muncy, but pump all the numbers up slightly, except for RBI are slightly down, like 3 or so 4.
Yeah, but he hit 280 something as opposed to 220.
Yeah, so I mean, it's got to be for Alex Riley. The Braves offense is just a juggernaut, and they're proving it here.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the first 3 in the NL that we've already said, but it's going to switch at the shortstop position for sure.
Yeah, we move it on over to shortstop, and I mean, Van, at risk of sounding biased, I think this is the most obvious one so far. It really isn't close for me. We got Xander Bogaerts in San Diego, Francisco Lindor in New York, Dansby Swanson in Chicago, and Trey Turner in Philadelphia. When you look at these guys' numbers, man, a lot of these guys, I mean, the best of them are at low 20s.
Yeah.
That aren't Lindor.
I mean,
I'm going to say right now, my pick is Lindor.
Yeah, so is mine. And I will, at the risk, not even at the risk, I will be biased. I don't care. If he doesn't win the award, there is definitely a clear agenda against him, because there's no way that any of the other three candidates hit what did he hit? 254 with a 30-30 season, 100+ runs scored, 98 RBI, an 800+ OPS. Like, get out of here, man. Yeah. It's got to be Lindor.
31 homers and 31 stolen bases. He had an 806 OPS. When you look at the other guys, they are all in the 700s, at best in the high 700s, with Bogaerts at 790. The next highest, closer to 31 homers, would be Trey Turner with 26, who hit 16 out of the 26 over the final 2 months of the season.
He's still 5 behind Lindor.
And longevity-wise, man, it's just, this is Francisco Lindor's award. Swanson only had 22 homers on the year, and he batted 244.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is down. All of the numbers
are down.
Francisco Lindor needs to win this.
How many stolen bases did Turner have? I think he was 30 for 30 or 31 for 31. Mm-hmm. I mean, he still had either one less or the same amount as Lindor, and he's supposed to be a speed freak. So, I mean, Lindor had a great year. If he's not awarded with a Silver Slugger, there's something fishy going on here.
Yeah, I'm giving that to Lindor as well. We'll move on over to NL Outfielder, which they have 7 nominees with 3 awards to give out. We have Ronald Acuna Jr. from Atlanta, Mookie Betts from L.A., Cody Bellinger from Chicago, Corbin Carroll from Arizona, Kyle Schwarber from Philadelphia, Juan Soto from San Diego, and Seiya Suzuki from Chicago.
So we could just go right ahead and cut it to 6, because Kyle Schwarber does not belong there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally...
I don't care how many home runs he hits.
Right off the bat, no disrespect to Seiya Suzuki, but I'm also taking him out as well. He was hurt much of his rookie year, but here he produced... he had an 842 OPS and 20 homers, but compared to these other guys, these guys are juggernauts at the top.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of them are obvious.
Yes, 2 of them are obvious. There's no conversation at all, because they're 2 of the 3 finalists in MVP.
Yeah, and then the third one, so Acuna and Betts are going to take 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Just shout out to Ronald Acuna, by the way, first player ever in American League or National League history to have a 40-70 season, when he had 41 homers and 73 stolen bases.
I mean, nobody ever had a 40-50, and my man had a 40-70. I mean, this
Ridiculous.
is about as much of a lock as it is the MVP that he's going to win next week.
And then Mookie Betts, the other obvious one, had a 39 homer season with a 987 OPS. You could chalk those 2 up right now. Who else are you giving it to?
It's tough between Bellinger, Carroll, and Soto, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love all 3 of these guys, but if you want me to be honest, I'm going to give it to Corbin Carroll. I think he was just too good this year. He dragged a team who nobody thought they were making the playoffs.
Yeah,
into the playoffs. I mean, he was great just as a rookie, too. I mean, he's a rookie.
He had 25-plus homers and 50-plus steals in his rookie season. Hard to argue with you there. You're giving your last one to Corbin Carroll, and I respect that for sure.
If not Carroll, I would lean Soto.
That's
Unfortunately for Bellinger, he's not going to be on the level of these 2 guys in terms of this season, but he had a great... We talked about him yesterday. I mean, he had a great season.
It really sucks. I will shout out Bellinger, because he batted .307 with an 881 OPS. He had 26 homers and 97 RBI in 130 games. It's tough not to get an award for that.
He will get an award, though, I think, because of the utility.
I don't think he will.
Maybe not.
I don't think he will, because Betts is there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so if you're counting it as just how you bat there, Betts was better.
Well, I think he's the next one out, and then it's between Carroll and Soto, and I'm going to give Carroll the slight edge.
I'll tell you why I give it to Soto. He played all 162 games for his team this year. He slashed .275, .410, and .519. His slugging was .519.
You don't got to convince me about giving Juan Soto an award.
OPS is a .930, and he had the MLB leading 132 walks.
Yeah, I mean,
162 games. It's crazy.
If it comes out tonight that he won it, I'm not gonna.
No.
I mean, it's his to win.
He hits unlike anyone else. So my 3 will be Acuna, Betts, and Soto, and you got Acuna, Betts, and Carroll. I like it. We take it on over to catcher, and we got William Contreras of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Great year.
Yeah, Sean Murphy of the Atlanta Braves, JT Realmuto, usually the gold standard, and he's here again, man. Philadelphia Phillies, and Will Smith, LA Dodgers. Who do you got and why?
I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't be surprised if they give this award to Contreras this year. He had a great year.
Yep. Is that who you're picking? Because I'll make my pick right now. It is Contreras. I was looking into the stats deeper this morning. The slump that Murphy had in the second half really had the numbers drop off. He's in the 60s in the RBIs.
Yeah, I wasn't even considering Murphy out of these.
I got a two-man race here between Contreras and Smith. They're both in the 70s in RBI, and they're both in the. I think Contreras is low 800s, while Smith is high 700s in OPS. But William Contreras batted .291 with 17 home runs and 78 RBI in 141 games. That's crazy for a catcher. I'm giving it to him.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it to him after being reread his stats from last year, man. I didn't even know he had that good of a season.
826 OPS.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like a great trade for the Brewers because he's still pretty young, man. He's only been here since, like, COVID. The COVID season is when he made his debut, so the Brewers might have a Silver Slugger winning catcher, and he's still very young, man.
Yeah,
so.
Will Smith ended the season with 19 homers and 76 RBI, while he had 17 homers and 78 RBI. So, I mean, it is a toss-up between the two. I wouldn't be shocked if they give it to Will Smith. Media loves L.A., too, so don't be super surprised, but I'm giving it to Contreras, and I think you are too, right?
Yeah, I am. I would also give it to Contreras in this scenario.
We will move it on over to designated hitter. This is an interesting category this year. A lot of guys close in stats. Bryce Harper for Philadelphia. It's tough, man, because this could really be his award if he didn't miss the first month of the year.
Yeah.
His numbers are a little bit down because of it. J.D. Martinez from the Dodgers, Marcell Ozuna from Atlanta, and Jorge Soler from Miami. It's tough, man. I was looking at it. I broke it down into a two-man race myself. I'm not sure if you did as well. I got Ozuna and J.D. Martinez going for it here.
I mean, I think Harper still has a chance.
I was looking at his numbers, and it's just like everything's like he's 30 RBI behind these guys.
Yeah, but you got to understand that the guy's playing with an arm that's not even fully repaired yet.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. You can't fault the other guys.
It's not a fault. It's more of a damn. I can't believe he's doing this. He still had a 900 OPS.
Yeah, no, it's very true.
With 21 bombs after having his UCL repair. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if he'll win it.
21 homers feels like it would be crazy to have a Silver Slugger awarded to someone with 21 homers, because what I'm about to say is my personal pick, and it's tough because I'm giving the devil his due here. It's not a guy I like to root for, but
I won't pick him.
It's unfortunate. I want J.D. Martinez to win it over him. I hope he does, but Ozuna's numbers are a little bit higher. Marcell Ozuna of the Braves.
Yeah.
He batted .274 on the season with a .905 OPS, while Martinez was in the 800s, had 40 homers and 100 RBI clean. I mean...
Yeah, I don't even think the guy should be allowed to be in the league, so I'm not going to give him an award. So if it's between those two, I mean, I'd give it to Harper over him anyway because he's better. I'll give it to Martinez over him. I won't pick him. I'm not giving him an award.
Martinez had 33 homers and 103 RBI, so...
Fuck Marcell Ozuna.
Fair enough. I mean, it's not a great guy. I'm just giving the devil his due here because of what he did on the field this year. It's impossible to say that he wasn't a great cog for that offense.
Yeah, you're a better man than me because I ain't doing that. Fuck him.
I hope J.D. Martinez... No, I'm with you.
I hope any of the three
with
other
you.
ones win.
I hope J.D. Martinez wins it, but I know how this media, especially how the media works, man. They love the Braves, too.
I just genuinely hope he doesn't win it.
Fair enough. But so who are you picking?
We'll go with J.D. Martinez then,
JD?
because he's the second closest, and I'm not giving it to him.
Fair enough. We will move it on over to utility, where we got Cody Bellinger, who we mentioned before, had a great season. Mookie Betts again. Ha-Seong Kim from San Diego. His names are all over the awards this year. And Spencer Steer, the rookie from Cincinnati. I mean, this one's just... With us giving it...
I think it's a two-guy race again between Bellinger and Betts. And I don't know, because if they give Betts one for outfield, maybe they'll give this one to Bellinger instead of making Mookie a two-time.
That's what's weird about it. It's a new category, like new-ish, so we really don't know.
I know you're able to win 2 Gold Gloves in the same season at the different, like in the utility and whatever position you're playing. I would assume it's the same for Silver Slugger, so if they really wanted to, I mean, he definitely is the best out of these.
Personally speaking, if you're comparing... This race for me is comparing Betts and Bellinger again, and
One's an MVP
we're taking him
candidate.
again. Yeah, I give him to Silver Sluggers tonight.
So it'll depend on how they vote, like, because Betts is going to win one for the outfield. If they feel bad and give Bellinger the utility instead, or just make Betts a 2-time because he was that damn good, I wouldn't be surprised. My pick is also Betts to go 2-time if it's even possible.
Got Betts taking that one. And lastly, we have the Team Silver Sluggers, and the National League finalists will be the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Atlanta Braves, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the San Diego Padres.
It doesn't matter who the finalists are for this.
No, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the Dodgers deserve to be up there. Everybody else is really in a class of their own below the Braves, though.
Yeah, they're not. Nobody's going to win this award besides the Atlanta Braves.
No, the Braves led the National League in average, home runs, RBI, runs scored, on-base percentage, slugging, hits. I mean, you name it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that I thought that they had been cheating a little bit this year because of how historically good they've been as a whole unit. So it would be very surprising to see if they don't win the Silver Slugger.
For sure. Those are our picks for the National League. We'll look into the American League now. And like we said, we are taking it on over to the American League now, where we will start with first base. As always, there are 4 candidates in this one. We got the rookie Tristan Casas from the Red Sox. We got Yandy Diaz from Tampa Bay. We got the defending Silver Slugger, Nathaniel Lowe from Texas.
Very nice to see.
Spencer Torkelson from Detroit. Who
Also very nice to see Torkelson get in there. That's really cool.
Really nice nod. I think he got basically the 4th nod.
Yeah, it's because he had a surge at the end of the year. He was really hot at the end. I know I picked him up in fantasy baseball because of how good he was. I think this is pretty obvious. Unfortunately, it's going to be Yandy Diaz. I mean, he had such a good year.
Yeah, if it wasn't for such a downswing for Lowe there, he'd have a shot.
Isn't he the American League batting champ?
Yeah,
Yandy.
He's the American League batting champ. He batted .330 on the year. He had a .932 OPS, 22 homers, and 78 RBI. I give it to him.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easily going to go to Yandy. I mean, he had a career year, and it'll be nice for him to get that nod.
We will see tomorrow. Second base, this one doesn't get much more easy. Man, it's Brandon Drury from the Angels, Marcus Semien, who we said is a MVP finalist, and Gleyber Torres from the Yankees. We could really make this one quick and say it's going to be Marcus Semien. He's the MVP candidate.
Yeah, Semien's going to collect his second career Silver Slugger award here pretty handily, I think. He is an MVP candidate in the other two.
Impressive side note, led the MLB in hits.
Who?
Marcus Semien.
Yeah, and he set a major league record in plate appearances this year, including postseason.
185 hits and 122 runs scored.
Yeah, he played almost every day, I'm pretty sure. So I mean, yeah, he'll collect that Silver Slugger at second base for sure.
Take that one on home. We will move it to third base, where we got 4 candidates again. We get Alex Bregman from Houston, Rafael Devers from Boston, Isaac Paredes from Tampa Bay, and Jose Ramirez, who, man, these guys, Bregman, Devers, and Ramirez have been here, they've literally combined to win the last 6 AL Silver Slugger awards at third base. So
yeah, it's always one of them. The new addition being Isaac Paredes. That's really...
and he was close, too. I don't got him winning it, but he was close.
He had a really, really good year this year.
31 homers and 98 RBI. That's a stud year.
Yep. I
will make my pick here. Unfortunately, Devers did everything Paredes did, but slightly better. He batted .271 to .250, 33 homers to 31, 100 RBI to 98. So, I mean, I give it to Devers there. I think he was just slightly better.
Yeah, I think Devers is probably the favorite going into this, but I am going to pick Jose Ramirez. I think he just continues to fly under the radar. He had another 20-plus homer season with 80-plus RBI with an 800-plus OPS, 280-something. I mean, it's just what he does every year.
Yeah, Jose Ramirez is the definition of Mr. Get It Done, man. He always does for Cleveland.
Yeah, so just for the sake of picking a little bit differently, I'm going to go Jose Ramirez here. It'd be nice to see him win another one.
Enough. Yeah, I had Paredes behind Devers, but I would not mind seeing Ramirez get it at all. Really beloved guy in the baseball community for sure. And now we will move it to shortstop for American League, where we got J.P. Crawford from Seattle getting in there, Corey Seager, another MVP candidate from Texas, and Bobby Witt Jr. from Kansas City, who had a absolutely insane year, man.
I think this one is a little bit more of a conversation than the second one for sure. I know Seager's going to win it because he is probably going to finish second in the MVP race behind Ohtani.
Right.
But Bobby Witt Jr. really does deserve some kind of recognition. He probably won't get this award, but
I'm genuinely disappointed there's not an award we can give him, man. He had such a year.
he'll have his time. He's only 23.
23 years old, and he had 30 homers, 49 stolen base, 96 RBI, and an MLB lead, 11 triples. That guy is a machine.
See, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to him. Like, I know Seager was so good, and he's probably going to win it, but, like, I would not be shocked if we heard Bobby Witt's name announced.
I just think it'd be funny if a guy's getting MVP votes but doesn't win the Silver Slugger.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Witt got some MVP votes. They won't be first-place votes, but he'll get votes.
Corey Seager just had the best year of his career, batting .327 with 33 and 96, and he had a 10-13 OPS.
Yeah, if he didn't miss time this year and continued to hit the way he did, which you'd assume he would because he didn't stop in the postseason either, we're probably looking at him as MVP in the AL.
I started swaying towards there anyway. My vote would be close. I do think we will touch on that later, but either way.
Yeah, I think Seager's going to take the Silver Slugger at shortstop.
Yeah, give it to Siegs.
But damn, Bobby Witt had a great year.
And we got a stacked outfield class here in the AL. We got Randy Arozarena from Tampa Bay, Adolis Garcia from Texas, Aaron Judge from the Yankees, Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox, Julio Rodriguez from the Mariners, Anthony Santander from Baltimore, and Kyle Tucker from Houston, man. We got all three of our reigning Silver Sluggers trying to defend.
Yeah, do you want me to just go ahead and pick my three?
Oh, wait, no, we only got two of them trying to defend here. Sorry about that. Judge and Rodriguez are trying to defend. Yeah, you could pick your three if you want. Go ahead.
I think the obvious one is Adolis Garcia. He's going to get one of these. He had an insane year, almost 40 home runs. He had 39.
Yeah, 39
100 plus.
107,
Yeah.
39 and 107. Crazy years for him.
He's going to grab one. I think J-Rod is actually going to win another one. I think he is going to take it home. He started very slow this year. He finished the season hitting 275 with 32 and 103, man, with almost 40 steals. I think he'll grab one too. And then for my third pick, I'm sorry, Aaron Judge. I understand if he played a little bit more, he would have won this. He still had 37 home runs, third in the American League.
That foot screwed.
I got to give this one to Luis Robert Jr. for the third.
Robert. All right, fair enough. What is motivating you to give it to Robert there?
He just had a great year, man, and I feel like he's got to be recognized. He hit 264 with 38 and 80, 20 steals. His numbers look a little bit more bleak than the others, but you got to understand that he's playing in such a negative environment.
Hard to drive in runs.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys to drive in,
There's a couple exceptions like the Bobby Witts who still had crazy years in situations like that, but it's very difficult to do, and I still think all things considered, Luis Robert had a great year just on the offensive side alone.
Yeah, you do have to take into account that there's less runs to drive in, so I wouldn't be super shocked if he got it. I'm with you on Adolis Garcia. Giving it to him is kind of a no-brainer to me. I'm also giving my second to Julio Rodriguez. Had his first 30-30 season this year, which is really phenomenal.
Yeah, man, I remember people were like, oh, he signed a big contract. He's starting off so slow. What's going on with J-Rod? And he just turned it on, and, man, that kid is special.
Yeah, slash 275, 333, and 485 this year, so he was on base one every 3 times.
Yeah, you'll take it.
Yeah, it'll add up. My third one does differ from you, though. I am giving it to Kyle Tucker from Houston. He led the American League in RBI with 112, batted .284 on the year, and he had 29 bombs. I give him the nod, but I wouldn't be shocked if they give it to him either.
I was going to say the same exact thing to you about Tucker. I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Tucker.
Filthier.
Yeah, all of these guys. I think the outfield field is a little bit better in the AL than the NL with all 7. Really just giving a good case to win the award.
Yeah.
With only 3 to give out, which is unfortunate for the other 4. We broke it down to 5, maybe 4 in the other league. All 7 of these guys really deserve a Silver Slugger.
We didn't mention it, but Santander had an insane year for Baltimore as well.
Now, Rosarena, we haven't said his name, but he's incredible. He's one of the key cogs in the Rays offense. They're one of the nominees for the American League Awards. So, like I said, all of them deserve it. But I'm going to give it to Garcia, Robert, and J-Rod this year.
I mean, I've tripped myself up a little bit thinking about, you can't really drive in as many runs if you're not in one of those top offenses.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough, but as of right now, I will give my 3 to Adolis Garcia, Julio Rodriguez, and Kyle Tucker from Houston.
Fair picks.
And we will move it on over to catcher, which is a fun little category here. We got the future Hall of Famer Sal Perez from Kansas City. We got Cal Raleigh from Seattle, had a really great power year. And the Rookie of the Year favorite, not favorite, excuse me, his teammate is the Rookie of the Year favorite, Gunnar Henderson.
I mean, you're probably getting tripped up because you're thinking that he's the favorite for this award, which he definitely is.
Yeah, and he is my favorite for this award. He batted .277, had 20 homers and 80 RBI, and he had an .809 OPS, Adley Rutschman. You are getting the Silver Slugger, in my opinion.
I agree. I will also give it to Adley Rutschman. But I do want to say Cal Raleigh had a 30-homer season. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
Sal Perez, he's had 4 Silver Sluggers in his career, so we already know that he's one of the greatest hitting catchers ever. I mean, that 48-homer season just 2 years ago was incredible to see. That was the last time he won one. But yeah, it's got to be Adley.
These are 3 great hitting catchers, and like you said, Raleigh with a really great power surge this year.
30 bombs, man. Yeah. That's no short feat, man. That's tough.
But I'm with you. I give the nod to Adley Rutschman, and man, that young Baltimore team should be bringing home some awards this weekend.
This is the award that I could have a conversation about for days, man.
Yeah, the designated hitter award in the AL will be Yordan Alvarez for Houston and Shohei Ohtani for the LA Angels. Who do you got and why?
I mean, I think it has to go to Ohtani because he's going to win MVP over Corey Seager, who we're talking about is so good, and Marcus Semien, who's so good. If he's going to win MVP because of that, because of how good he was in the box, and he also pitches, I mean, this is just for his hitting. He still had 44 home runs, which leads the American League by, 6? 5?
Yeah.
And that's with him dealing with injuries down the stretch. I think it's going to have to be Ohtani, but damn. Yordan Alvarez, I mean, we saw it in the postseason. I think he is a top 5 hitter, guaranteed. You want to put him in your top 3, you got no arguments from me. Really tough that he's just going against one of the, 3 or 4 players that's better than him.
Yeah, for real. Yordan Alvarez, this can't be more of a brutal non-award if he doesn't get it, and I don't think he is. It's pretty brutal. Ohtani had a 1066 OPS, and he hit over 300 for the first time in his career to hit 304. I think Shohei Ohtani takes home the silver on that.
I agree. It's going to be Ohtani just because, I mean, he's going to be the MVP favorite. You'd assume that he's going to win the Silver Slugger, but that's Yordan is going to... He's going to collect them in his career for sure.
Absolutely.
He's got to already have at least one. He's incredible, man. He's one of my favorite hitters to watch.
Alvarez is the reigning Silver Slugger at DH.
That was his first? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, he will stack them up in his career eventually.
Most definitely.
It's just unfortunate that he's going against the juggernaut and Shohei Ohtani.
Yep, we take it on over to the utility spot where we get Brandon Drury, who we mentioned in the second base position, Gunnar Henderson, who we said is the Rookie of the Year favorite, Isaac Paredes from Tampa Bay, who we also mentioned earlier, and Whit Merrifield, who just always happens to be in the utilities.
I mean, I can go first here.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were just talking about him. This has to go to Isaac Paredes.
You're giving it to him too? I have seen a lot of people say that this is Gunnar Henderson's award to win.
I understand the hype, and he had a great year, Gunnar, and he's going to be Rookie of the Year in the American League, but Paredes needs a little bit of recognition for him having a 30-plus homer, almost 100 RBI season. We were just saying it would be egregious if Lindor didn't win it at shortstop for us. This guy had a crazy year.
Yeah, I mean, Paredes had 31 and 98, as you said, to 28 and 82 for Gunnar. It's not a knock on Gunnar, man. It really isn't. Because
he's going to win.
Yeah, he's a great hitter, and he's going to be vowing for awards for years. I think this is the time to give the nod to not really a household name in Isaac Paredes and give him his flowers.
Yeah, they went out and traded Austin Meadows for him, who ended up not playing a whole lot for the Tigers, and Paredes played a lot for the Rays, and he did a lot of damage for them.
Yeah, very true. And last but not least, we have our team Silver Slugger. I think this one is as obvious as the National League is.
I think it's,
But I am shocked that one team didn't make it as a finalist. We got the Houston Astros, the Seattle Mariners, the Texas Rangers, and the Tampa Bay Rays. I am shocked to not see the 100-win Orioles on here, considering their offense really is what chugged them to that spot.
Yeah, I'm also very shocked that they would put Seattle and Houston in there over the Orioles. But hey, mainly Seattle, because Houston, I mean, they've been there. We know their lineup. We know what they do. And they did it again. They won another division title, but I don't know how you could put Seattle in there above the 101-win AL best Baltimore Orioles, who were driven by offense, as you just said.
Me personally, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have either.
Baltimore's my fourth team here.
I don't think I would have even put Houston in over Baltimore, in all fairness. But
no, me and you were talking about it earlier before we started recording. We kind of thought that Baltimore would have been second.
Yeah, I would maybe put them in over Tampa Bay.
Baltimore's getting my silver medal here, not that there's one to give out, but yeah, who's getting the Silver Slugger? I'm giving it to the Texas Rangers, and you are as well. I don't think this is even a competition the NL as well. They led in average. They were tied for the lead in homers. They led in RBI, runs scored, on base percentage, slugging, OPS, hits.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
the
insane,
list goes
man.
on and on and on.
They even led in walks, man.
Yeah.
They were all over the place.
The defending World Series champs are going to take home a Silver Slugger. It is the what? I think this is the inaugural year of the Team Silver Slugger, so they're going to, as well as their World Series, they're going to take home the first Team Silver Slugger in the AL.
Team of first for sure, and I think they'll be taking home 3 more with Semien, Seager, and Adolis. So,
yeah.
God, what a year for the Texas Rangers. Good for you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, Yandy's probably going to win it at first, like we said, but Lowe does have an outside shot. He is a very good hitter.
Yeah, I mean, what a year for the Texas Rangers. Those are our American League picks, man. Everybody enjoy the show tomorrow as they announce them.
Yeah, very exciting.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening wherever you do. This was episode 47 of the 9 Frames podcast. It is Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. I've been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
You can catch us always on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff, folks. Hit that bell notification to know when we go live.
Yeah, I was going to say, do all the great stuff that we appreciate. And, I mean, don't be afraid to comment. If you guys have any thoughts on what we should do maybe in the off-season, any suggestions, be sure to pitch it in the comments, because we read them all. I mean, when you guys do comments, so
we would love
it.
to even do interactive things like, Q&As, polls, stuff like that. So let's get it going. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share this with your friends if you think they'd enjoy the show as well. We like more ears on it. We want to hear more opinions, your guys as well.
Yeah, we're just going to try to continue to improve the show and see where it goes.
Hope you guys are having a good week, and we will catch you for the Friday episode. That will be episode 48. But this was episode 47 of the 9 Frames podcast. Have a good one.
Enjoy the rest of your midweek, and enjoy that Silver Slugger award show, everyone.